All right. Welcome to a special episode of the Uplifter Show. I have a really good friend of mine, Chan, who has been behind the scenes helping, as much as she can with a lot of the things that are going on with Ukraine. We've talked a lot about the fact that WECAN Games, which has created things like Prospectors and Our Planet, really good friends of ours at the Uplift, and we've done some really cool things together. They're based out of Ukraine. And Xenia is the CMO of WECAN Games, and she's agreed to come here just so we can kind of learn about what's actually going on, in Ukraine right now. So, Xenia, am I saying your name right?
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, cool. All right. So, is there anything else you want to tell us about your background before we get into all the craziness?
Oh, we can begin with craziness and then we will
Okay.
talk about.
Craziness first. Time is of the essence. All right, sounds good. Yeah. So you Chan was saying you have something that you prepared basically to give us an update, which is awesome. So feel free to do that, and then we can get to some questions on the other side.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you for inviting me, first of all. And as you know, there is a war in Ukraine, and it's a horrible reality today. More than 2,000 Ukrainian civilians and kids, our children, were killed. 2,000 already. Russian troops shot residential districts, schools, and hospitals, throw vacuum bombs at our cities, and even launch rockets at Ukrainians' homes. Last days, our women give birth in bomb shelters, not in the hospitals. I speak with foreigners, and they often ask me, how can we help? How to donate? And we are thankful. It's important. But there is more important thing for Ukrainian than donation. We want the world to know the truth. For example, Russians believe in some alternative realities. In their country, now it's even prohibited by law to call this war war. They call it some rescue operation. And Russian authorities perfectly creates fake. And they even seed these fakes in English language medias. And all the time I see it now. And it's awful. I speak with foreigners, with our community. It's from all whole world. And some of them say, we do not support either side. This is just politics. Or they ask, why Ukrainian government don't just give up and the war will stop? And I say you, it's very painful to hear because there is a truth. Russian President Putin has declared war on the Ukrainian people, not just government or authorities, Ukrainian people. His troops invaded Ukraine, and our people stopped tanks without guns even. The main aim of this aggression is to erase Ukrainian and Ukraine from the map of the world. And Putin needs to be stopped. I don't believe that these sanctions will stop him. He's one of the richest, maybe he's the richest man in the world. Sanctions will not stop him. But Russians can't stop him. It's a lot of population, but they won't. I speak with Russians. They are in our community. But as I already told, they believe in alternative reality. Even these people, our community, they know English. they have access to the all medias, not just watch Russian TVs. And it's a desperate now. Okay, I told what I had in my head, and you can ask questions.
Yeah, Danny, thank you for um, thank you for sharing that with us. I think in our circles, I know, Greg is watching. He's commenting. He's a good friend of mine. Sue is another one. Representative from the Rocket Gallery in the Uplift. This like the metaverse or whatever, right? We're all sort of tapped into this, right? And I'm excited that you came on because, honestly, like your team is like an extended family to ours, as far as I'm concerned. And it's frustrating seeing, the unbelievable, just the insane things that'll get shared on Fox News here in the States, for example. And we're absolutely here to smash that shit as much as we possibly can. As like the least that we can do. Just the lies can't win, right? And so
I hope.
Right? We all have to stand in front of the tanks until they don't win.
Yes.
Yeah. So Greg's asking a question. What do you make of the argument that Putin is going to use crypto to get around sanctions? I mean, before you answer that, just take a second to think about that. My experience, because I've heard this a couple times from people in the West, and my experience right now is that crypto is what's helping, right? Like we're actually able to move funds around to get things for the people that are waging this fight,
Yes.
in Ukraine. But how would you respond to that?
Yes. Repeat one more, please. The question.
There's an argument that Putin is using crypto to get around sanctions. Do you think that's accurate or a big deal?
I heard about this, but like I said, the sanctions will not work. Okay. I don't believe in sanctions. I think he has everything what we need. I think he has agreements with China. I think he thought this through earlier.
Okay.
Yeah, he's been playing. Xenia, I have a question for you. Okay, so you believe, and I agree with you, it's Russians it's Russians that need to do this. So those who are, I'm not Russian, and I'm sure Corey isn't. What would you ask and say to the rest of all of us who are watching, who want to do something? What can they do? And you and I talked about it's an information war. So what can we do as individuals and as communities?
Yeah. Informational war, it begins earlier than began actual war, and it's a big problem. That's why I always ask to spread the truth. I always ask my friend who knows Russian, who friends with him. We have relatives in Russia, but they don't believe us. They believe their television, but they don't believe what we see with our eyes. It's crazy, but it's like that. And as a company, we can, and we had a statement that we always had a strict line with our nationalities and the projects we do. But now we can't, because it matters life or death, and it's literally matters life or death. That's why our marketing department prepare the information company. We gather the popular questions, and we will answer it. Also, we will launch an NFT collection that in buying cards from, users will be able to support our country, our army. And also it could be a great news, but it came in the sad times. WECAN became one of the wax block producers recently, and we decided that all this reward we will spend from block producing, we will spend to purchase life-saving equipment for Ukrainian soldiers. And I think to win this war, there is not small actions. Something has to be done, and only then we can hope for better. So everything is matter, and donate and good words and spread the truth. Everything matters now.
Yeah. So you were saying you're collecting, basically a frequently asked questions. Your questions that
Yeah.
get asked. You're collecting that. Okay. I'm gonna need access to that because we'll share any updates to that on the show because we do the show every day, right?
Okay. It will be like wiki, and we will post it tomorrow.
Perfect. Okay. And for real, anytime you want to use this platform, you're welcome. You tell me when, we'll make it work, because we want to be as much of an active ally as we possibly can. Yeah. So Rocket Gallery is asking if you're crossing over to Poland or Sweden. Are you planning to stay in Ukraine? Are you in Ukraine right now? Have you been safe?
It's such a difficult question. Because no one in Ukraine can feel safe now. No one.
Right.
No one. There are more dangerous. There are cities where are more dangerous. There are active fighting now. In Lviv, we live in Lviv. It's a western city. There is no active fighting now, but every day, several times a day, we got an air raid, and we have to hide. It's stressful, it's shocking, but I can be sorry for myself, because I see how people in Kiev, in Kharkiv and Melitopol suffer now. They hiding from the direct shots, they hiding from rockets, and we can call people in Lviv lucky now, if we can call it like this.
And are you planning to stay? And if you don't want to talk about, if there's anything you don't want to talk about for security reasons or anything, like feel free just to tell me, shut the fuck up. That's like,
Okay.
We only want to talk about what you want to talk about that you feel safe about. Okay.
Yeah. We can talk about plans, because it's always something changing.
Yeah.
And I can surely say I won't go from Ukraine, because I don't know.
Right.
If it will be very dangerous for my kids, I will have to.
Right.
And Daniel, do you want to talk about what happened a couple of days ago? What happened? What you saw when you tried? Because we coordinated trying to get her out. So maybe she can outline what happened so people understand. Like it sounds really easy, but it's not.
Yeah.
Yes. I was very stressed. I packed all my things and my kids' things. Husband has to be left home, because men can't go out from the country. They have to defend it. And we went to the border. We came nearly 16 or 17 kilometers to the border, and there was a long line of the cars. A lot of people want to go abroad. We slept in the car all the night. We spent near the border 11 hours, and we moved only 500 meters. And I understood that we have to be there for 2 or 3 days, and it's almost impossible with children because there is no utilities, there is no toilets and hot food, nothing, just
Yeah.
road with cars. And that's why we returned, and I really hope that we don't have to go anymore.
Right. Yeah, I hope this just resolves some way. And I think you're right. Like I think it has to come from the Russian people, and
Yeah.
part of me hopes that, with all the oil companies going out and with everything that's going on, that the sanctions is how this ends up getting communicated past their media, right? Like that you can't lie about the fact that everybody loses their jobs, right? Or maybe you can, they just don't know how, right? And that's and it's a hope, but that like it's gonna be interesting to see how else to get messages through to them, because like on a very tiny scale, comparatively in the United States, like we see what kind of fake news or what that attitude can do, and people
Yes.
get really really entrenched, and it's a hard problem even just in like the normal politics. It's really really tough.
Yeah.
I really really hope that this message starts to get through to enough people in Russia that something happens, because it's just I think you're right. I think that's the only way it's going to end.
I hope Russians will know about deaths of their soldiers,
Yeah.
because Russians don't take the death body from Ukraine. They leave it here, literally, because they want to get them to their relatives and they get know the truth. It's horrible even to say that, but it is.
Yeah, because
Wow.
they don't want to bring them back because it doesn't look good. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. It has to be a successful campaign.
It's more than 6,000 deaths Russian soldiers in Ukraine.
Yeah, it's Greg was actually my buddy Greg has a group on this. He's been communicating accurate information to to people in our circle here in Florida, around the United States and Canada. And that actually ends up being exactly around what he estimated. I think the Russians were saying it was about a quarter of that. So, usually you can just times it by 4 easily, and so that checks out. Just a few comments. I want to get over to Quadro said a lot of love and help from Slovakia to Ukraine. Rocket Galley, if you do need, to leave, you're going to get help in Poland and Sweden. I know it's hard, but if you manage it, and your children are more than welcome, sending thoughts and strength, which is cool. So yeah, we all want to help. And again, this platform will be available to you whenever you want it. Any information that you want me to get out, you can just send it to me. We can get connected on Telegram. Anything you want shared, anything that you guys tweet out, make sure that that like I'm tracking it all and retweeting whatever I possibly can. But like we'll amplify whatever you guys want to get amplified, and we'll just do whatever we can to help push the information war in the right direction as much as we can.
Thank you, guys.
Of course, absolutely. All right, Xenia. Well, let me know. We can set up another time. Like obviously, and we can send, if you can send us links, and I asked that to the guys as well, because they couldn't, because they were obviously walking. Just so people understand that one of their founders was traveling and decided to cross back over into the border to join to fight, and decide not to. He's like, we're saying we're gonna be fine. We're gonna win, and that is just the strength of the Ukrainian people. But I asked them for links for like medical supplies and whatnot. If you guys have those and you send them and say this is what we need and give us examples, then I can have an address to send them to. Then we can gather that and do the logistics. I'm trying to do that with you guys. So those would be the important things. I mean, food is obviously essential, but I think the supplies for medical reasons and for would be helpful. Okay.
All right.
All right.
Thank you, Gary. It's true. we're standing against tyranny. And I want just add that I'm very proud of Ukrainian people now. They are united. They are brave. They never want to take something they don't own. They just defend their land, their people, and their kids, and future of our kids.
That's where we end this.
Yes.
Again, come back as soon as you want, as often as you want. We'll do whatever we can.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Senya. And Chan, thank you for setting this up.
Of course.
Thank you,
All right.
Jen.
Thanks, ladies.